Welcome to a new Scary Tuesday, TikTakers. This time around, we're going back to Latin America to learn about one of its darkest characters, which you have requested a lot on our socials. This is the legend of a dangerous and bloodthirsty woman who is as deadly as she is beautiful and seductive. Many of you probably know who we are talking about, the Muelona, literally the woman with big molars, who is also known as the colmillona, the woman with big fangs, and the dientona, the woman with big teeth. She's a character from Venezuelan and Colombian folklore, and is especially present in legends told around the towns in the Andes region of Colombia. She is described as a beautiful woman with long hair and a piercing gaze. However, her most characteristic feature is her beast-like sharp fangs, which can easily tear apart a big animal, like a cow or horse, and even a human being, in mere seconds. She shows her fangs at all times as if she was constantly grinning, while also emitting loud and terrifying cackles, making everyone around her shake in fear. She usually appears by the side of roads just when it starts to get dark, showing herself to passers-by while resting on a tree trunk, trying to seduce them with her attributes. And once they fall in her embrace, she devours them ferociously. Her preferred victims are men who are either depraved or of dubious behavior, mainly compulsive gamblers, cheaters, men who beat their romantic partners, and alcoholics. That said, nobody is actually safe from her ferociousness. With one exception, she never attacks those who have a home with newborn babies or a pregnant wife for some reason. The origin of this creature dates back 2 centuries ago, when it was common to find in that country very perverse women of ill reputation, who weren't well received by society. They would dedicate themselves to deceive innocent girls as well as corrupt, fallible men, destroying homes and ruining from huge rich families to modest households. One of those women, known as the witch, quickly gained a reputation that extended all over the plains, thanks to her business of predicting the future. She was dedicated to solving love issues by fixing, or more accurately, destroying marriages. She committed many atrocities through her schemes, reading the cards and even the palm of the hand. Thanks to her growing clientele and the contacts she was getting, she managed to expand her business, transforming it into a house of leisure, which then became her hunting territory to win over unsuspecting men. She would empty the pockets of the most important officers of the Spanish government, as well as the modest Creoles and the very wealthy property owners. She felt no remorse for her actions. She would incite young ladies to hate maternity, left hundreds of homes in ruins with abandoned wives, and squandered the huge fortunes all those men had given her. As a consequence, everything around the witch was depravity, vice, and tragedy. When the witch finally died, a sickening stench invaded the entire house of leisure, to the point that all the people who lived there and the customers staying there had to abandon it immediately. Only one woman, one of the witch's prodigies, took the risk of staying at the house for one night so she could get all of the witch's valuable items, such as expensive clothes and jewelry. When night came and she went to bed, a huge swarm of bats invaded her room as soon as she turned off the light. And a sinister voice, almost like a deep whisper, resounded all over the house. I have to take revenge of the gambling and harmful men. Damn them! And the easygoing and shameless women too. They will all burn in hell with me. I am the Muelona. The terrified woman couldn't light the flame of her lamp to try to defend herself, since the constant wing flapping of the bats were putting it out. The bats were also hitting and scratching her face. Desperate and terrified, she fled from the house, dragging herself out however she could. Once safe in the streets, she worriedly rushed to tell everyone what she had witnessed. A big commotion stirred up. The neighbors were constantly on edge and frightened about that cursed house, and nobody dared to go in. Finally, the authorities decided to set the house on fire to try and drive away whatever was still living in there, and finally bring some peace and quiet to the neighbors. However, the creature still fulfilled her promise, and ever since, she lurks around the roads of the region looking for its favorite victims. And we know that none of you are among them, TikTakers, but just in case, still be careful. Never let yourself be lured by an attractive woman in the middle of a desolate road, since her smile could be hiding a very sinister destiny. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, and if you want to see more Draw My Life videos, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode!